Hello, my name is Ruby Borchet, and this presentation is about my research paper on managing change in organization culture. I am always fascinated with how an organization establishes its unique characteristic, good or bad, and it is also interesting to me to know how an organization reaches a certain identity of being, let's say, the most stringent workplace, and then after some years has become known to be the most let's say employee friendly and customer friendly workplace. This interest brought me to this research. I intended to explore the strategies that are involved in changing organization culture, and so I came up with this title of my research, Managing Change in Organization Culture, an Innovative Customer Centered Approach and Employee Focused Approach. In this presentation, I will be sharing with you my assertions, the analysis of my review of literature, and my recommendations, and also the conclusion of my paper. But before we go into these details, let me give you some description of what organization culture is. Say, imagine you are new employee in a company and you heard the expression, that is how we do things here. You heard that either from your manager or from a coworker as they are explaining to you how critical initiative is in that organization and the importance of immediately jumping in to help. Another example, let's say you are scheduled for an interview, and when you reach the office, you observe a lot of quotations posted on the wall of the interview room related to, let's say, the importance of smiling, and you see a lot of pictures of smiley face. The interviewer notices your fascination with the decors in the room, and she says, the owner of this company attributes his success in smiling and making people happy. Everyone here wins the Best Smile Award. So, in that instance, that person is sharing with you not only a story about the owner of that company, but she's also sharing with you a shared belief and values of the members of that organization. That is organization culture. It is the set of shared values being communicated throughout the organization using various ways such as stories, slogans, pictures, and any other symbolic means which pertain to how a particular organization is unique and different from others. The organizational culture provides identity to the organization, and that identity is what tends to be communicated among its members. Now, in order to adapt to the changing world market, increase productivity, and improve work efficiency, an in depth look at how things are done in an organization is crucial. When the best route to achieve these organizational objectives is to change the organization culture, then a manager is faced with a very challenging task of managing the two important groups of people in an organization, and that is the employees and the customers. The needs of these two groups and expectations of these two groups are sometimes in contradictions, and so a manager should somehow be innovative in making a customer centered culture and an employee focused culture. So, with that in mind, I went through my research with these three assertions. One is, change in organization culture cannot be abruptly done, thus, it involves a sense of efficient use of time. What is being changed is part of history in which people have been attached for years. So changing how things are done is like taking away a part of their identities. And time is very essential for people to understand the reasoning behind or for that change. Um, the other assertion is if one approach is utilized more than the other, the approach that is utilized less will develop resistance to change. Let's say an organization is more on pleasing the customers. There may be tendencies that employees may feel like they are not important, especially during customer complaints, and the manager will favor the customers. And then the third assertion is managing change starts with a vision, but it never ends even after the change is successfully implemented. It is a continuous process. It might be helpful for the manager to see some coalition groups that will help him or her assure or to ensure new values are adopted consistently. So I reviewed related literatures with the hopes of finding supporting concepts and ideas towards these assertions, and I think I was able to achieve that objective. I synthesized those literatures and then came up with this analysis. Managers are faced with various dynamics of change when using both customer-centered approach and employee focused approach in managing the change in organizational culture. However, these dynamics are opportunities for effective transition from old practices to employing new practices, which in turn will develop new values and belief systems, which are in conjunction with the new vision and mission established for the organization. So the two approaches require reallocation of resources and require creativity to be implemented. So with clear vision and a strategic plan of communicating the change to the teams in the organization, managing change in culture can be done effectively. So the approach I use in my research is more of a descriptive approach, and so thinking of how this research can be improved, I recommend future researchers to indulge more in comparative approach, exploring the differences of the two approaches for managing organization culture change described on my paper. So the last part of my paper summarized the keynotes about managing change in organization culture. The decision to change the culture of organization requires courage and sensitivity from managers. Customers are seen as the receiving end of the culture change, and so it is important that efforts on organizational culture change are considered as to how they will affect serving customers effectively. On the other hand, effective change should always come within, so it is very important to create a positive relationships first with the employees so they can be more receptive to the change. And lastly, changing culture in organization is a process. Managing change in organizational culture requires a strategic approach in using resources and dealing with the people in that organization. So thank you for watching my presentation, and God bless.